Florian Wirtz is one of the best attacking midfielders in the world right now, so it's no surprise he's attracted a lot of attention. From clubs like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, all the way to Manchester City, there have been a lot of teams in for him this summer, but one team that has seemingly come out of the blue and has almost swooped up the transfer is Liverpool FC. But what will Florian Wirtz bring to Arne Slot's side, and will he be the player that helps Liverpool retain the Premier League title for the first time in their history? That's what we'll be talking about in today's video. But first, let's take a quick look back at what he's done in the last couple of seasons at Bayer Leverkusen. In the 2023-24 season, when Leverkusen went invincible and won their first ever Bundesliga title, Wirtz chipped in with 18 goals and 20 assists in all competitions in 49 games. A massive output for a massive player.
It's massive. And you know what else is massive?
2024-25 season, he played 45 games in all competitions, getting 16 goals and 15 assists, helping Leverkusen to a second place finish. But of course, Xabi Alonso has already left. He's gone to Real Madrid. Jeremy Frimpong looks increasingly likely to leave the club and go to Liverpool, and other players in that Leverkusen squad will also be leaving. So now seems like the perfect opportunity for Wirtz to move on too. And whilst it did seem increasingly likely he would go over and join Bayern Munich, now it seems likely he could be en route to Liverpool. He had 78 shots in the Bundesliga last season, scoring 10 goals, all but one of those came from inside the box. So he can sort of fit that sweeper, striker type of player, the poacher that comes in and scores those chances, the loose balls in the box. He's played quite a few different positions for Bayer Leverkusen, all the way from attacking midfielder in that 10 role, out on the wing, in the false 9, and that's where I think he will be most notable for Liverpool next season should he join the club. Looking at how Liverpool could line up next season with 3 new players, here's how they go. Alisson in goal, of course, he will still retain his spot. Kelleher looks likely to be leaving, has been pushed down to 3rd choice. Hopefully he comes to Brentford, because we could definitely do with him with Flecken looking likely to leave as well. Jeremy Frimpong comes in. I made an entire separate video out about him earlier in the week if you want to go and check that out. Much appreciated, but he'll be a very important player for this Liverpool system, and also the fact he can play lots of different positions just like Wirtz. Konate and Van Dijk will retain this team. There have been some rumours about Konate potentially leaving, but I think he will stay. Kerkez comes in from Bournemouth. He'll fit that mould of Liverpool players who've come in from teams that are quote-unquote smaller teams in the Premier League. Players like Andy Robertson, who came in from Hull when they were relegated. And Dijk, of course, came in from Southampton, albeit for a lot more money, but still came in from a smaller Premier League club. Players like, McAllister came in from Brighton. So Liverpool do have a proven track record of going out to other Premier League clubs, signing their star players and helping them mould from already top players into players that are now considered world class. And I think Kerkez will be another of those examples, and it already seems like he's leaving. He's already liking posts on Instagram linking him to Liverpool. He's pretty much as gone as you can without officially signing for the club. In the midfield, of course, we have Ryan Gravenberch after a really top season in that 6th role, and ex-McAllister, one of the most underrated players in this team, of course, stepping in alongside him. Someone who's going to play a very important role in this team. He can step forward in the attack, but also step back and help out Gravenberch, because alongside him, of course, is Dominic Szoboszlai. Now, Szoboszlai as a 10 or an attacking midfielder doesn't quite meet the standards of what you'd expect from that role. He only got 6 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League last season, which honestly, for a team that won the title, is really not good enough. But what he does bring to the team is a really good work rate. He is a top player. You watch games against the likes of Spurs where he was just on another level last season. So he can still be a great player in this team. And when people saw that Wirtz was joining Liverpool, or potentially joining Liverpool, the first thoughts were, of course, right, that means Szoboszlai is potentially not going to be a regular starter next season, but I don't think that's the case. We'll get on to in a minute. I still think Szoboszlai has a really important role to play in this Liverpool team. Up front, of course, we have Mo Salah. Of course, Mo Salah, he's untouchable. And then we have Gakpo off the right with Wirtz through the middle in the false 9 sort of role. He has played that role for Leverkusen in the past, and I think this is where he'll suit best for Liverpool. Luis Diaz, who's played that role a lot last season, of course, is still a good player, but Florian Wirtz seemed like the traditional step up from him, and Diaz coming in off the bench, either for Gakpo or Wirtz, seems like the perfect player, because you just have that amazing depth now. And when Diaz starts games over Gakpo, you have Gakpo to come off the bench. If he starts the odd game over Wirtz, you have Wirtz to come off the bench. So it's really a win-win scenario for Liverpool next season. Now, of course, halfway during the season, AFCON will happen, and Salah will almost certainly get called up. So then the question becomes, how did Liverpool cope without Salah? Last season, he was literally the most important player in that team. He carried the team to the Premier League title, at least as far as goals and assists go. So next season, when they're out him for a couple of games, how will they cope? Well, that's where Jeremy Frimpong and Florian Wirtz step up. Frimpong will move forward into that winger role, with Conor Bradley coming into the team to fill in that fullback void, and Wirtz, of course, sticking in that false nine role really, really well. Just look at this team. Even without Salah, that's a team that would still challenge for the Premier League title, probably even win the Premier League title. Throw Salah back into that and that team just looks sensational. The thing about the Florian Wirtz transfer, though, which I think should get Liverpool fans the most excited, is not just signing one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, but who you're stopping from signing him, Manchester City, a direct rival for the Premier League next season, and also a player who honestly would probably benefit City a lot more than he would benefit Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, Wirtz improves pretty much every team in Europe, but in that Manchester City team, he's probably the exact type of player that they need in that team. And if they don't get him, whoever they sign to fill that Kevin De Bruyne void is going to be a step down from Wirtz. Whereas Liverpool, whilst Wirtz will still improve that team, they could still go out and sign a player like Julian Alvarez, for example, who would maybe fit their current system a little bit better. So it's not just the fact you're signing Wirtz, it's who you're stopping from signing Wirtz. Now, of course, a word of caution to Liverpool fans from Brentford fan, who in the last 2-3 seasons have had so many transfer sagas that have just ended horribly, the likes of Archie Gray, Johan Bakayoko, probably the worst of all though, Antonio Nusa, players who seem like they're signing for the club and then they don't. Liverpool, of course, know exactly what I'm talking about. Players like Aurelien Tchouameni, Jude Bellingham, Martin Zubimendi, Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, the list goes on and on. But I hope for Liverpool fans' sake that Florian Wirtz is not another addition to that list, of course.